You're watching Weirdo Universe, where wonders take pride in life. Leave a like and subscribe. Enjoy the show. I'm Amon,
I'm AJ.
and this is Weirdo Universe. Thanks for tuning in our second episode of our morning schedule here on a beautiful Saturday. And since Halloween has concluded, sorry we didn't do a stream for that day. But today we're moving on to the superhero world, and we're going to start with the DC universe, and we're going to a series that we'll just say took a little while than it need to finish, and that's the Flash series, as it concluded about maybe 2 or 3 years for now, give or take. But AJ and I, we've been like discussing it nonstop, saying about like it's taking too long. They need to wrap it up, but then by the time, by the we were always curious of like how would it end, and as you saw that episode, it ended on pretty much a good note. But it was just there were some parts that was just like, wait, what the heck? They got back the Notorious Reverse
Yeah,
Flash.
I gotta agree with them on here. Some of the stuff that they did in the last episode was a bit too much.
Not only that, but for all that, the actor they picked though to be the Flash. I mean, I feel like we need to give a good round of applause. Because not only that, like when the series ended, he still wants to be that character. That if you guys know the movie, I haven't seen it, but like if you've seen the movies, they picked the one that's going to do the Justice League movies. That's old. We'll cross that bridge. We'll talk about the one that lasted a good long time, maybe overstretched it a bit. Tried to do like 7 seasons, but at the end of it, pretty much was dying out. Trying to like build a story. They're trying to find a way to close it, but they wanted to like add some stuff here.
Didn't they do like 9 seasons?
It's 9 seasons, but let's just say
I'm gonna look that up real quick. Hold up.
It was on the CW.
Go on now.
It was on the CW channel. I think when it premiered. Wait, when did it premiere?
Okay. It ended 2023 with 9 seasons.
So 2 years, 9 seasons, which is just
that's still pretty good though.
That's still pretty good, but when did it started?
I think 2014.
Dang. That's what it showed.
I believe. Let's see the Flash series. Oh, yeah, 2014.
Yeah, that went on for nine seasons, 9 years.
Man,
that's pretty clever. I wonder they didn't realize that. But moving on.
And it played with 184 episodes.
184 for 9 years.
That's still pretty good.
That's still pretty good. They could have done 200.
Yeah.
Range if they want to do a 200 episode combined. But then I don't know how they're going to stretch that out if they ever did that.
Yeah. We'll probably get more into that description on maybe like a what if or like just the general idea of what we meant by like it was already stretched out enough.
Yeah, but where should we start?
No, I mean that's 2014 to 2023. Wow.
So now they went 9 years, 9 seasons. But AJ, where do you want to start?
I mean, I think we could probably skip the breakdown.
Yeah.
Because I mean it is one of the most famous DC shows in the CW network
Mm-hmm.
or the series, the CW series. So I think let's talk a little bit about the story a bit, like the main focus.
Okay. So, in case if people don't know, Flash, Barry Allen. So, what's funny about like superheroes is always about the smart genius people. They have a very smart mind on science and concepts. So, Barry Allen is is well, there's a lot of interpretations of him. But for this one, he's like I say hello to the dog.
Yep. Hello. This is actually hi, by the way, as
Ah,
in like hi, not that version. But hello.
hello. Oh, back by the
I'm just
dog.
gonna ignore him a little bit.
Um, but yeah, so Barry Allen in this CW verse is he's like if you watch those cop shows, there's like this forensic scientist solving crimes with science, pretty much.
I
Right?
gotta also bring this up. In the comics, Barry Allen was also a I think it was a CSI, crime scene investigator,
Yeah,
which is basically the forensic team.
yeah. But so as he was like I don't know, pretty much as he was solving a crime, the like pretty much down the street, some scientist was trying to was trying to do an experiment with like not like I wanted to say like going through time and space, but it was I'm trying to pull this out of my brain because it's been so long. But pretty much it was a wild experiment, and with wild experiments, things go terribly wrong. So there was like a massive lightning strike, and he got zapped. But as time went on, he started to move really fast, and somehow had a chance to go into past and future things. And as the season goes on, he grows with the abilities. But sorry, I was distracted by the dog. The dog really wants some attention.
Yeah, he's an ear person regarding me, apparently. But he's a goofball, so we love him.
um,
Yeah.
not gonna lie, the dog is distracting my thoughts right now because it's so cute.
Okay, down boy. Thank you. What
Um,
were you trying to
well,
bring
I
up?
was just about Barry Allen, how pretty much how he got his abilities. So now it's just as
Okay.
I would get more into the whole, like you were mentioning, the whole what's the main.
I don't know if he was um if he was trying to do a look back into an old case file because his mom in most cases does die in most of his story. It depends on exactly the writer on how they want that to happen. For the Flash series, it was through the Reverse Flash killing her. Um, Through most of the comics, it was a robbery gone wrong, if I'm not mistaken.
So interesting.
Um,
Took like a spider to the Uncle Ben sort of death.
Basically, yeah, just instead of on the street, it was in the house.
Mm.
So both a intruder and robbery gone wrong. Um, but his dad is in all of the files or source materials. Usually gets convicted of this death of his wife and put into prison, and which leaves Barry kind of an orphan in some form. He usually does stay with somebody at least. For the Flash series, it was Detective Joe West and his daughter Iris. But I'm not quite sure for the comics, so I could be a little
Well,
iffy on that. So I'm not gonna get into that bit. But um, I think during the time he got his powers, he was, I think, trying to go over some evidence from his dad's case to prove his innocence, and then just by chance got struck by lightning with all the chemicals splattered on him.
like, I don't know,
And yeah,
did you think I described it well? Just a crazy experiment with lightning, just seeing guys' ability.
well,
Just
I mean,
tell me
in a
that.
sense, it basically was that for the most part. I mean, it was kind of a crazy experiment to happen. So,
I mean, when Barry Allen got this ability, he kind of, he's feeling overjoyed, but it's almost like a childhood dream with every other human being in the world. Always think was like having superpowers. So he kind of gets over joyful with it, but still no control. But as the season progresses, he has more control, and then he pretty much becomes a master of it. But there's parts. So with the villain, so Reverse Flash is like his ideology is, since he's considered himself like the first one, so he wants to eliminate pretty much anything that really becomes a Flash, because he wants to be like victorious.
well, that was a little different in case of the series. Um, for the series, I think he had reenacted the accident that had gave the Flash his powers, which gave him the same abilities. And then in the moment of him trying to actually do some type of heroics, the Flash stepped in and took the spotlight. So then that inherited him basically the sense of envy, jealousy, and just then rage. But um at least for the show, I don't know about the original layout of the character's background for it, but yeah.
Yeah, 'cause in the series, like the first season, he was technically the first villain, and at the end, apparently, the person he was being learned by was actually him in disguise.
He is also a in the comics he's considered this paradox because he keeps dying and then coming back. So it's kind of funny for him to be this paradox because usually that happens with time manipulation going wrong. It creates a paradox. So him being considered such is in a way kind of ironic to the character. I mean, it makes sense because it's he is the reverse of the Flash,
That's the thing.
which yeah. So I mean, I find it interesting why he's considered as this, as such. I want to get into that with the maybe a later episode, just kind of diving into the Reverse Flash's like origins a little bit for like another episode, obviously. But I mean, I think that'd be pretty cool.
Like, and then so Reverse Flash. Then you got Zoom, which is pretty much a cursed. Is pretty much death if he was a speedster. That's pretty much
Yeah,
a speedster that's pretty much cursed, or he kind of broke the laws of physics, so he's actually being hunted down by death itself. Like he's like a death. He's like a junkie. So it's like with Zoom,
yeah,
he didn't did it from natural. He did it artificially, and apparently from doing that, it really messes up your mind. You kind of become an addicted, you say crackhead, but
yeah. I was like, there's no way to sugarcoat that.
but he's
So
pretty much a crackhead. But just think of death, but if he had speed. And
yeah, I in by the end of season two, he Zoom does become um the Black Flash, which in most cases, in most source material is basically considered like death for speedsters.
Like the other thing is, you always thought the black. Like when I first saw the Black Flash, I thought it was Barry Allen. If he like did something, if he messed up something, so he is cursed.
You know, they actually do have Barry become the Black Flash
The way that they
in the comics.
because the way they showed it, like the face almost looks like Barry Allen.
Yeah.
If he
So I
was,
wonder if maybe it was originally supposed to be Barry.
so it's like interesting because then of course the Black Flash was in a series called
10, 20 minutes later, you're going,
Day of Tomorrow. What's the series with like it was like a group of heroes. Reverse Flash was in it, and he's being chased by Black Flash.
once you're
Trying
in
not
there,
to get erased from existence. It was on the CW channel, but
Are you talking about Legends of Tomorrow?
yeah, Legends of Tomorrow. The Black.
I mean,
Flash,
that was more, it had more, in a sense, bad guys on the team.
well,
in
yeah, but
some
they
cases.
threw. I mean, if you watch that series, they threw in the Black Flash and then killed the Reverse Flash.
Yeah, I think I remember that episode.
But continuing on, so you got Zoom, and then this is where, and then this is probably when the Flash series was at its peak. So they had an idea of making a speedster with pretty much like Iron Man armor. But here's the catch, though. It's actually Barry in a different time. Let's just say when you watch the series, you can see like the growth of how they.
Well, they talked about how yes, he was Barry in most cases, but he was also known as a time remnant who ended up just taking on his own life, in a sense.
Yeah, so like if you just think if you watch it's like if you watch the Flash series, but whatever you saw was more of a negative than a positive. So like we'll take a pause with this because this is when Flash hit its peak. Because what they did is the actor that played Barry had to do two roles, so he had to be the character he is, and then do like an opposite effect of what he will act like if he had this uh like have these negative emotions, but not like Reverse Flash. But he's thinking like how kind of like try to be the very first Flash, but instead of like how it usually is, let's just say he did some research of some ancient thing, and he did like instead of being a forensic scientist, what if he was he was like like a historian discoverer, you know? And like heard you never know, like because in the show they showed like the story is that Zaftar was the very first speedster. Like there's some like ancient artifact.
I think
I
what they meant by that though was the fact that Barry was basically the first speedster. I mean, he was the first speedster who ended up getting his powers. So him also being Savitar, this supposed first speedster, it almost is ironic because of how Barry is described in most cases. And it's funny because of the fact that it's an evil version of Barry for the show, which makes it so much more interesting. By the way, I can't even lie about that.
The idea of doing that, because as the series goes, Avatar's like a mystery person. Okay, you reference so much about the main character, so you kind of think, okay, like, is it him, but not him? But then you might think like, oh, there might be all these possibilities. But then when they did the reveal, when he came out of the suit, it's him.
People went wild.
I like what they did though. So they changed the clothing. You see, he's wearing like kind of like all black, kind of like Wednesday in a way. Like like almost pale like with like a scar as a remembrance of like as a kind of a birthmark in a way of in his like his eyes.
I think he mentioned he got the scar trying to I think it was during that last like fight with Zoom, I believe.
like either his world of Zoom or when he was chasing him down through the
I forget.
the speed
It's
force.
definitely been a while since I've seen the show, so I could be a bit wrong on that.
Yeah,
But
we're just doing the sum down, but the as this month goes, we'll try to break it down. But it's just when they did a Savitar, it was like this is where Flash. It was like they're picking it up to now to a point where it's like you had to watch like every episode, all eyes, and see how it carries on.
oh yeah,
And then I mean, we'll break it down some points of the month as I already mentioned, but then season 4 comes down, and then they decided to
I
make
will say I did like season 4.
yeah, season 4 was interesting. So they pretty much like if you play the Injustice games, you know Brainiac. So they almost say like make like a human. Well, it's like Brainiac, which you and then you could say the Marvel world. What's the one that's the big head? You know what?
The leader,
What?
the leader, or are you talking about
No,
Modoc?
in Marvel. Oh, is it Warlock? You know, like his like his whole like in like the Marvel Avenger games, like he was the villain.
Oh
Modoc.
yeah, you're talking about yeah, you're
That
talking about Modoc.
like for me sometimes with brain it's like they kind of did a scenario that his design is like Brainiac, but his mind instead of course with Modoc it grew very big, but in this case it's not that, but it's like his mind is like more advanced. So what he
I
did,
forgot what his full name was, but I know they called him DeVoe, and then like the Thinker.
DeVoe's the name. So they did like they changed it up, take a little break, Speedster versus Speedster. Though I know everyone likes that. They try a different approach and go more brains against not brains against bronze, but it's almost like who can outsmart the other.
Well, that was the thing that I liked most about season 4 was the fact that this really pushed Barry into a more offensive tactic than they really like I guess necessarily intended to. Because I mean, in most cases Barry is incredibly intelligent. He is very smart. But going up against a character like DeVoe, aka the Thinker, you got to be more than just smart with this guy. I mean, you have to because he's already like 6 to like 10 steps ahead of Barry in most cases.
So how he got his ability? So as when Reverse Flash or AKA it was Dr. Wells when he was
Yeah, I
trying
was just
to
gonna
do
say
this
Harrison Wells.
Harrison Wells when he was trying to do his experiment with his team, the DeVoe he took this opportunity. He made it like a device to put on your head, and thinking it when the accelerator, which was one of the experiments, as soon as it goes off, as the electricity zaps, he thought as it zaps, it can like with the device, it can like pretty much makes his brain think the thinker makes it like think really fast and just sees all possible scenarios without even trying to like really think pretty much that's why that's how I take it.
Which I mean, it that does happen. It just had also a negative side effect where it sort of started killing his body.
So that's when he wears sits the chair kind of like Brainiac. He in the with those designs to keep him stable, would you say? I mean,
Yeah.
at the end of it all, at that season, Barry finally outsmart. I think at the end he actually kind of did a checkmate move, and he defeated him.
Well, if I remember correctly, Barry in a sense did outsmart him, but if y'all also know Elongated Man, Ralph Dibny, he had a big role in that because his powers were a little different from the norm, but in most cases he was hey, thank you. Sorry. In most cases, I think it was more of a fight between DeVoe and Ralph, if I'm not mistaken. Because I mean, he had to kind of just like, I don't want to say expel DeVoe from his mind, but I mean that's also basically kind of what he did too.
So yeah, I mean that scene was pretty good, but this is where it kind of like it got stretched out to a point where it's like, all right, like AJ and I, every time we were discussing about it, we're like, all right, I think we've seen
Yeah,
enough.
I think season 5 is definitely where it started to get a little iffy a bit.
Is it when like they were like almost making like they were building they were building stories, but the way they did it was like, hang on, what?
Season
So
6 is definitely where it started to go downhill.
yeah, I mean, I'm trying
Like
to remember. I'm trying to
fast.
remember. I mean, actually, do a quick research with that. I don't know if it was a villain or more of a.
Season 5 I think started it off with this
Oh yeah,
character named Cicada.
yeah, cicada. So just think. So like
There's
cicada,
also two versions of this, by the way, if
two
you
versions.
remember, because there was the dad and then the daughter, who was, I think, from the future in a alternate timeline that they had accidentally created. I think.
So okay, this now okay, season 5 actually. I don't know the stretch, but it was like still pretty good.
I will say this: season 5 was definitely the starting point of where it started to go downhill, but it was like that roller coaster buildup. So like it was just going up, 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 and then that's when it started going a little down. And then
So
right when it hit season 6,
yeah,
it
so
kind of just
season 5.
crashed.
So like as AJ explained, it's like so there's this like pretty much a notorious, you could say, serial killer. Like he
Yeah,
almost
I
looks
mean
like
that's basically what he was.
he's like a serial killer. So he had like a specific like dagger that can like I don't not disrupt a speedster, but like he had this certain dagger, but it's like the way he kind of
Well, um it suppressed all metahuman abilities.
yeah, all right.
Basically, that's basically what it did.
And so, but this is where it gets, it gets a little interesting. So I don't know if it was at the end or was like they tried to do like a mid-season. This is when I think mid-season finale started to get in more in the series because they had probably had so much to say, but they wanted to like crunch it up a little, like
Oh yeah.
half and half. So I believe one half of it is where then another speedster comes into play,
Well,
and
before we do that,
okay,
it does technically end off with everybody dying from this like explosion.
right.
And that was because of a satellite crash that hit Central City. But then this is where this new speedster comes in. She rewinds time just enough to join the Flash without him realizing it at the time, and then destroys the satellite before it crashed. Now I'm not going to do the reveal because I just kind of wanted to elaborate more on that, so I'm gonna hand it back to Amon.
Yeah, so as AJ just broke that down, like, well, I just say the cicada villain when he first introduced this dude was pretty much practically a menace. Like he didn't have to
Oh,
like the one who he didn't the way the actor played him out. he didn't have too much lines. It was just more of like a menacing presence every time you see him.
It was like Darth Vader.
Like, and for Barry, it pretty much like for some reason this wasn't an easy person to beat. He was like pretty smart in a way, but it's like it's just the way the way how menacing he was the part that's kind of tricky. You think a guy with just a simple dagger, but it's like, well, that dagger actually is not just it's not like a knife. This thing actually will dampen your abilities. But, and then, yeah, so when we just say the reveal?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, the reveal is, so that speedster that has that sort of ability, almost like the Flash, huh? And there's a connection there. That person apparently was playing, is the daughter of Barry and Iris. Yay. So like that was like, you know, it was kind of like, oh my god, like jaw dropping a bit. It's like, you know, then it kind of gets your attention. Be like, okay, this seems, you know, they're adding new speaks or new actors and actresses, and the actors that played is Jessica Parker Kennedy.
Great actress too, by the way. I was so happy to actually see her in the Flash series, even though technically I also first saw her in the Flash series.
So like she played really well throughout the season. And
yeah,
well,
she was during season 6, she was definitely more of a main focus, but after that she was kind of a little on and off a bit. If I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
And then we go to season 6. And this was like, okay, what the heck? It's like the Flash director called the Batman director. He's like, hey, can we use a guy that's like Clayface, but in our own version of it? And it's like, oh yeah, sure. So they made a story. So this doctor, his mom was dying from a disease that's it's like an unknown disease that he was trying to cure. Or no, but he was also getting it. It's like a genetic disease.
Yeah.
And the Flash helped him by using his blood, since he had the little speed stuff. Will help it like quickly, like with this science, he can like it's like a quick medicine to like fastly generate. But some reason, by putting that sort of thing into a normal human, has some effects. And so when he insert Barry's blood to his blood, somehow his blood, it like instead of healing, it almost like rapid fire, like his blood. It didn't work. Pretty much what I'm saying. Like it had no shot.
It worked, just not in the way that they wanted it to.
Yeah, it worked. Yeah, that's what it was. Like it worked. So, and well, the name was just like.
I don't remember his like real name, but I do believe he ended up being called like Bloodwork.
Yeah, I'm doing a little research. Well, actually, I forgot. There's actually technically two. There was actually two main villains in this. They did two in this one. Bloodwork was
one.
wasn't
it like Godspeed too? I think, or yeah, okay.
Or Mirror Master? That's what I'm seeing here. Because then
it might have been Mirror Master.
Because then this is where it's just like they
started doing a bit too much.
They did too much. 6. So Bloodwork is like Clayface, but instead of clay, it's blood.
Blood. Yeah.
blood.
They really hit the gore factor in this one.
And then they tried to go like, I don't know, they almost did like sort of like a Resident Evil sort of story build or something where people turn into
that too.
So it's like, what the heck? But no, this
there's
not really much to say. But this is where I just can't right now. So if you watch like all CW did Supergirl, Arrow, and then the whatever else,
Legends of Tomorrow.
So they did this build up where they kind of want to make like a mini Avenger movie, but the CW way, you could say.
Yeah.
And that is Crisis on Infinite Earths.
By the
So-
way, this entire plot also does reach into the other shows.
So yeah, and we'll break that down as well. But pretty much to sum it up, there's like there's this like there's like the certain like alien species, but one of them kind of turned bad, but he kind of like was trying to become like I don't know if he was like eating galaxies, but he pretty much had the power to destroy them. Not like Thanos or the giant dude with the not like from the villain Fantastic Four's new movie.
Oh, you're
But
talking about Galactus?
Galactus, but in a way, he sort of had that ability. I mean, we're not gonna break this down enough, but pretty much they did a little side thing. They made a movie. It went on for a good few weeks, and then they wrapped it up. And then
They made a movie?
I think, well, they didn't like did a movie, but they did. You mentioned like the shows. In a way, it was
Oh,
like
yeah.
an actual movie, but you had to like watch shows you don't watch.
Personally, I would have liked it to be just like its own
should
solo
Like
thing,
that,
to be
this
honest.
this is what's like if you think of it, it's like they could have just done a movie.
They
Netflix.
could have.
Well, I know it's CW. I don't know if they get a lot of eyes, but I just wanted they could have made a small business deal with like Netflix. And Netflix was like, yeah, sure, we can pick it up and we'll upload on our stream, and then people can watch that. And then
I mean, I just think it would have been easier than like splitting that entire storyline within like several different shows.
yeah, like there's this one scene where it's like, so like the world, all of the infinite Earths pretty much got destroyed, but the heroes are in this one pocket dimension that they have. That even for Barry himself, he tried to see he can run out of it, but he can because it's just like this small little mini pocket in an unknown in just in one.
Think of if you've seen Deadpool and Wolverine, think of the Void.
Yeah.
Also, that's also in the Loki series, so think of that.
Think of pretty much a pocket void, and yeah, we'll just end it there. And then we thought, okay, I feel like it's maybe they could do like one more season, call it, or maybe they could have just ended there, honestly. But no, they kept it going. So so in the end of the whole thing, they saved it. All the Earths are back at place, and everything's pretty much normal as it can be. And and then we get to season 7. That's what we were saying. Like the way they kept going and going, it's just like, hey, just cut it.
A lot of fans also didn't like how they were doing season 5 and season 6. So when they announced season 7 was happening,
in season 6, Godspeed. But the way he did Godspeed, if he was some kind of alien creature or he made clones that he only speak in this like.
No, he was this future speedster from Nora's timeline in the future. And he made clones of sorts, but they couldn't really speak. And then it was just the whole I can't even
All right. And then it's like right now, like we're gonna help you break it down, but we're gonna have rants a little bit here and here because it
really gets to the low point.
It was like a string.
Yeah,
First it was like a roller coaster as AJ, or it took a dip, but then it's like it's just a straight line, and it just got so thin as it keeps going. Because then it's like your brain's just like
it was like a roller coaster that never stopped going downward.
yeah, it's just so pretty much season 7, they just forced it. They just like forced all the actors. I feel like they just pretty much like the writers were like feel like they were forced to try to make some kind of story. I bet they were kind of felt like they were done, but they were told to keep going, I guess. So we get to season 7. And this is where they throw like pretty much
I forgot what season 7's villain was. I'm not even gonna lie.
So to pretty much sum up season 7.
I need to look that up. I'll be back.
So no. Wait, AJ, I know. I can tell you. I can
Oh.
remember. So you know, Iris, before you met Barry, she had a relationship with a cop. But with his sort
I
of
thought that was
family-
season 8 or 9.
no, it's this no season 7's where he kind of got when he realizing what he got like resurrected, and he realizing what's been happening, and then
Oh, we probably got that wrong.
For 7 or 6.
For both, I think. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let me see 6 real quick. Okay, no, we got season 6 right. It was Bloodwork and Mirror Master.
Which route? I don't have actually no clue how that is developed.
Season 7 though was Mirror Monarch, which was also Mirror Master. I don't know why he changed to Monarch, but okay. The Speed Force as an antagonist, and then Godspeed. So they had 3 big bads in season 7.
Wait, the Speed Force
Yeah.
that interprets his mom?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's interesting. I forgot about that. I think yeah, wasn't season 7 like when they started doing the different forces, like the Time Force, the
Oh yeah, you're right. No, yeah, it's come.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so all right, here we go. We got some clarification there. So yeah, season 7, where at this point the Speed Force acting like they're demigods. They're pretty much acting like they were demigods. I don't know. I just feel like the way to interpret demigods.
I mean, you're not wrong about that though, technically. So it's like
so they were affecting Barry, but then they did this whole thing where they gave the Reverse Flash an upgrade by inflicting all the
he basically turned himself into Thanos and started collecting them like fucking Infinity Stones, and then got this like new 52 type upgrade. If you don't know what I'm referencing, it's from the comics. Just
from the comics,
putting that out there.
But like the way he was suited into it just looked a little funny. I'm like,
that was. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty creepy, but awesome.
It was awesome, but like your clothes is just dark and red. He just flipped the yellow to black, and then he just darkened the red. That's all I saw.
Yeah.
But anyway, so then, like the Flash and this guy, but Reverse Flash, they had this fight. Oh, geesh, man. It's the end.
I think that fight was. I think the fight you're thinking about was like in season 9, though.
That's 9. Okay, that's 9. We'll get to there.
I believe.
It's like at this point, we're having to like break it down, but it's just like the writing just was so crumpled up. Like it wasn't like
they could have actually.
I mean, they could have
done doing better. Like 3 villains. They in one season, they probably could have actually stretched that out within their own season.
Then it would have been like a smooth.
That probably would maybe been a little better.
I mean, I'm trying.
Maybe.
I mean, like season 7's pretty much Barry against demigods that are pretty much the Speed Force, so they have a little battle of their own, and these Speed Force pretty much like kicked out Barry and promoted Reverse Flash to be their pet. I don't know, not pet, but. I don't
something
know.
Around there.
Something like that. Like, their own speedster and kicks out Barry and yada yada. On to season 8.
Yeah, season 8 also had 3 villains.
3 villains, but I will say
one was the alien Despero. the fire meta Deathstorm, which if
Wow.
you also remember, that was like a version of Firestorm, the original one, I think. And then the return of the Reverse Flash. I'm telling you, dude, the dude is like a cockroach. Dude just cannot die.
Like I get the old Flash, Reverse Flash. It keeps fighting for Infinite Wars. I'm like, that has to be an ending point. So I think they finally figured out how to do it. But yeah, but no, I think 8, the one at least good part of it was that.
Yeah.
Ghost
And then I
Rider-
think 8 also had the cop you were talking about that originally was dating Iris,
Yeah,
I believe.
that's. And then he.
So 4 or more villains,
Yeah, it's
give or take. They had a lot of people.
man, it's hard to like process.
It's just
it's so
that it's so much.
sorry. Oh, try to continue moving on here, but it's just so bad.
Yeah.
But no, but with season 8 though, the only best part I would say when they did the whole Ghost Rider, if it was like the whole Ghost Rider, flame, what is Flame Torch for Firestorm, Ghost Rider like being like that whole like the way they build a background of like what happened to him and how he became that was probably like the best part out of it. The other stuff is just it's as we keep saying as we go throughout this, it's just it just went down.
Yeah. Oh, and then don't get me started on season 9.
Would you agree that 8 was okay at least for the when they did the
Yeah,
Firestorm,
I'd say
Ghost Rider
I'd
dude?
say 8 was about 50-50.
Yeah, like it was okay. It was like all right, it's something at least.
Okay. I will say this about season 9,
Yeah, but
since I know we're getting into that.
I mean, we might as well because it's even. I'm trying
Yeah. Hi. Stop it. He's right outside. Stop it. Anyways,
so
the character that they bring in season 9, known as the Red Death, is in the comics a variant of Batman who
this thing was just
takes the abilities of the Speed Force to use.
Actually, the suit. No, the suit was just something they bought.
The suit was pretty cool.
It was pretty.
I won't lie. The suit was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. It was Batwoman for the show, though. And stop it.
So with Batwoman, so if you watch the series, the first actress that played, who did really
Ruby Rose,
but unfortunately, she had to quit because apparently during when they were filming a scene when she was trying to like do a move, she really like damaged her neck and it just she was out.
Yeah, there was a whole accident I think on set about it.
A whole accident, like she hurt herself really bad, so that she couldn't move on.
My question is, okay, I don't mean to make this sound bad. I do not mean to make this sound bad.
If you want to, you were going to sidetrack a little bit. It's fine. If you want,
yeah, a little bit. Again, I don't mean to make this sound bad, but why did they go from a white woman to a black woman in the character change? Like, how do you even explain that? Because I mean, they had Kate Kane even at the end of like her own show, like Ruby Rose, before the accident.
Like, well, all right, we're going to sidetrack a bit. just we're going to that series, I mean, just Batwoman in general.
I'm just putting this out here because it just still confuses me. And again, I don't mean to make this sound rude or anything or racist, but it's just,
we're not trying to
how
be
do you
racist.
explain that in a show?
Yeah, we're not trying to like not racial. It's like the actress did she did good. It's like
Yeah,
we want to talk
she did
about
okay.
She did okay. Like what you want to talk about? We can go. We'll cross that bridge
Well,
about that series.
See, it was just more on the lines of, because they talk about how Kate Kane was like in a coma and whatnot in the show, right?
In the Batwoman series, though, she was in it, so it was more like kind of like how in certain Batman games when Batman dies, one of the families take over and they fill in the role. So I feel like that was more of their approach because she was in season 1. That actress playing like just a patron character, and then I saw the series, and that's how they developed it. Like, then she discovered the Batcave, and then she wanted to like fill in the role. So it's kind of like how Robin or Nightwing.
I'll definitely have to find a way to rewatch Batwoman, but
well, that's how they interpret.
At least from like my memory, it was just like they brought back Kate Kane with a different actress.
Yeah,
and it was a different skin tone. I was just like, how do you explain this when she unwraps herself from the bandages? What, like, what kind of accident did she go through that managed to just change her entire person?
Oh yeah, I mean, well, and we know because the person that played it, she.
Well, no, I mean, I know, but I mean, just the character alone, because I could swear that they had like Kate Kane go into an accident too, and then they brought the new actress in, and she unwrapped herself from the bandages, and it was just like, had what? But again, it's been a while since I've watched the show, so I could be completely wrong on how it ended with the one season with Ruby Rose in it.
Well, anyway, that whole series got canceled pretty quick because
it only lasted what, 2 seasons, didn't it?
Yeah,
I think like.
I mean,
what happened with that?
Last year they ended on a semi good note because the way they ended it was like, okay, at least that's good. Because honestly, I don't think how they can do a season 3. I mean, they try to build up something. Anyway, we'll talk about that series when we get there. But going back,
sorry,
it's all good. But going back to the Flash, so season 9, and you know what, guys? They finally wrapped it up. I couldn't survive another season. I mean, thank gosh they decided to wrap it up because I don't even know how.
Yeah, no, they really stretched it out for like for. I can't even do my math right now because that was just.
So pretty much season 9 was like pretty much their decision was let's just all the Speedster villains, let them form into like a squad and take on Flash and like his crew and do this notorious battle, and I mean that's pretty much it.
And then we get the Star Wars scene.
Oh, yeah.
The literal lightsabers, if you may.
Lightning. So the actor who played Barry was like, "What the heck?"
Yeah, even the cast members were just like, "Why?" It just, what was your reasoning for this?
Anyway, like to wrap it up, the character that played Barry was actually wanting to do the movies. He was willing, and we wanted to keep playing the role. And of course,
well, I think he wanted to take a break after season 9 and then focus on some other projects. But he never did say that he wasn't willing to come back. And then I think after some time, I think maybe some people started to think that he was never going to return as the character. So in an interview, he was like, "No, I would love to come back and play the Flash. I mean, that was such a good time." So I mean, I would love to see Grant Gustin as the Flash again.
I mean, everyone would, because maybe it would help. It might would help the movie franchise.
I'll get into my rant when we get into the Flash movie for casting wise about this. So I'm gonna save that for another time. But yeah, no, I mean, I think they could have definitely, if they really wanted to end off the Flash or make the Flash series work with some of the seasons, like the later seasons, I feel like
they should have just done 6 seasons done.
No, I think if they wanted to do more, I think they needed to just split the villains into the seasons instead of just bumbling them up all in one.
Because when we had a reaction to it, we were like, okay, you know what? Not as bad as we hoped. I remember me and you had it.
I will say, I think season 9 might have picked it up a bit. Like it was pretty decent. I just don't think it was completely 100%.
Yeah, but we were like, it was going down so bad, it just felt like it was going to collapse it completely. But then they built some sort of a decent ending to be like, there. It's like, so we're going down, and then just went like.
I loved the way that they ended it off too, and it was literally Barry basically making the choice of giving other people some powers. And if you know these people, they do kind of reference them a little bit in the show. Like they go by their name for the character name. And they are actual characters in the comics. They're very like underrated characters though. So, I mean, I was really excited to see that they were bringing that in a little bit, even just for like a short cameo type ending. And
then Barry trying to like pretty much an Optimus Prime sort of ending of making a great speech and like, see you later. It's just like telling him all of his experience and all that, and so on. So
overall, though, I am kind of happy with what we did get. So I would love to see a potential maybe reboot of like a new version of the show with some of the original cast members too.
So or they just redo those seasons, just redo the second half of the season. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Another episode. We'll see you next week, and we'll break down more of other CW series, Working Class, make it more in depth. So stay tuned. Have a good one.